Hi, how are you? Hope you're doing well. So for today's videos, I will talk about how do posting situation work for EMT and how do EMT take their break and lunch break during their shift hours. Now, if you haven't watched my previous EMT videos, just a quick recap. Hi, my name is John. I work as an EMT for about a little bit more than 2 years in Los Angeles, California. I have worked 10, 12, 24, and 48-hour shifts. On this channel, I talk about my experiences in healthcare, school education, finance, and self-development. Well, let's just get into it, shall we? First, I want to talk about the EMS response time and how it affects the post-situation and how you take your lunch break or just break in general. According to researchers in the United States, the length time between an EMS car and the arrival of an ambulance also the fire department is about average of 7 to 8 minutes. Now, if you are in a rural area, then it's probably going to be around 14 minutes or so. And the thing is this, it's unfortunate, but it's about 10% of those rural area of the United States. If you have low funding, long distance road, fewer hospital, and fewer EMS service, the wait time could go up to 30 minutes or more. And that is a saturated situation, and I hope that they can do something about it, because if you need EMS service, waiting more than 30 minutes is a long wait. Now, this response time is very important for the ambulance company, especially for 911 and hospital private contract companies. Imagine this, like if you have a contract with a hospital or the city itself, they want you to arrive on time according to their standard. So for example, let's say an average is 7 to 8 minutes of response time, right? Or someone call for 911 service or transport to another hospital, they want you to be there in that average amount of time. Now, if you go to a patient to get a patient, and the expected average wait time is 7 to 8 minutes, most area they allowed some cushion time, so let's say 10 minutes because of traffic. But for some reason, you end up getting there like 20 minutes or 30 minutes later. Now, that is not acceptable for most hospital and 911 service, especially for the city and county where I work at in LA, Los Angeles. They want you to be there less than 10 minutes. So therefore, I have seen companies where they lose and lost their contracts with the hospital and the city themselves because they couldn't make it to the average response time. And here's the situation. Most ambulance company, especially the private one, are for business. So for them, it's a business opportunity to get contract, and they don't want to lose those contracts because they will lose money. So what is EMT posting or just posting in general? During the day, most of the ambulance unit are either running car or moving around the different area for their next call. So imagine this, a posting consider being around the street intersection or in the area that you're supposed to be posting or your next call to be at. In order to consider a post, a unit would technically need to be right next to the intersection area that their dispatcher told them to be. I know some unit, they are more lax on that. That's why it's important to have a good relationship with your dispatcher. A unit will technically need to be close to the posting area as much as possible. I know some dispatcher will be lenient and let you post a little bit farther than the original post area. But then again, it's all depend on your relationship with your dispatcher. That's why it's good to build a good relationship with everyone at your workplace. Now, the reason why for this distance is because of the EMS response time. When you do get a call, the dispatcher and the company expect you to be at that call less than 10 minutes because you already posted around that area. So there's no reason why you not get to that call in time. So therefore, that's why posting work in the EMS field, because they want you to have the shortest distance to your next call. So there are times when I would get a call from my dispatch to say, hey John, post as area A. And then when I get to area A, I'll get another call and say, hey John, never mind, can you go and post at area B? So I had to drive to area B, and next thing you know, hey John, never mind, I have a call coming out at area A, so can you come back? So then I had to go back to posting at area A for my next call. Now, it could be frustrating and could be annoying at certain time because you had to drive back and forth to different posting area for your next call. Again, it depends on how busy that day is. For some reason, if you cannot make it to your call on time, you have to radio your dispatcher and say, hey, there's a traffic, there's a car accident, right now I'm blocked in, I cannot make it to my car. The ETAs will be this and this. Or you can say, hey, like, I'm probably gonna not make it until the next 15 or 20 minutes. What do you want me to do? At this point, your dispatcher will say, okay, you know what, the call gonna get canceled, they're gonna transfer your call to another unit, and that unit will take over your call. Again, have a good communication with your dispatcher and your operation manager or your supervisor too. Because remember, most companies nowadays, they have GPS on your ambulance rig. So let's say you get stuck in traffic and you wait there for like more than 10 minutes, but you didn't radio into a dispatcher to explain your situation. Your dispatcher would like call you right away and say, hey, what's going on? Now you've been at this location for more than 10 minutes not moving. Why aren't you moving to your next call? And you might get dinged for that. You might get written up for not talking to your dispatcher. So remember, always have a good communication with your dispatcher. Whether you get a gas, whether you delay on your car, or even just say, hey, like, I need to take a break. Can you give me like 5-10 minutes break? Or I need to use a restroom. Just have a good communication with your dispatcher, okay? Depending on your relationship with your dispatcher and how lenient your company is, they might allow some leeway on how you post. I know some of my friends who work at different EMT company, they allow you to post. I mean, you still have to be close to the intersection area of your posting station, but you could post like, oh, instead of posting this at this area of intersection, you could post next to the part right next to it, or you could go to the mall and post there while taking your break. I know some people who work near the beach, they post literally in the beach parking lot while just chilling there for their next call. So it just depends on your company, to be honest. If you have good relationship with your dispatcher and you always gonna be on time with your call, I think you should be fine with posting where it's convenient for you for your next break to get something to eat or even to use the restroom. So just plan it out correctly and just make sure you don't get late to your next call. You take your break and your lunch break when you post. So that's why it's important to plan out where and when to post. Well, with the when situation, it's difficult, especially if you have a busy day. But you can plan out where to post. So let's say that, hey, you're probably gonna be posting after this call. So you plan, oh, I'm probably gonna drive to this mall or go to this part where there's a restroom, so I could use the restroom. So just plan it out, okay? So technically, most of the time you probably be eat, drink, rest, and nap inside your ambulance rig for all your shift hours. Now it's kind of bad, but you just kind of get used to it, especially when you work in the Los Angeles area. When I was working there, my ambulance rig was my second home. I literally eat, sleep, rest in my on the ambulance chair. I know it's bad for my back, but I learned to sleep like just sitting up. I don't recommend it. It's very bad for your back posture. But I mean, especially if you have a long day and you need a nap for a power nap, just do whatever you can. Again, remember, your safety is your number one priority. So you don't want to show up to your call and be sleep deprived. Anyway, now most companies do not hire an EMT or paramedic just to rest, to sleep on the job. Until you have a long day at work, you have to plan out carefully so you don't get caught like sleeping or napping on the job. What I usually do is that with your partner, right? For any EMT unit, they usually you run with two EMT and one paramedic, or just two EMT. Now, what I usually do, we alternate. So let's say, one car I will be attending and my partner will drive, and then we switch for the next car. So if I'm attending, I will take a nap while my partner drive, and after that, he will take a nap and I will drive to my next car. We switch back and forth to get some rest, to recover for the car. Now, here's the thing. Most companies are now under scrutiny because they don't have enough break for their staff. So nowadays it's getting better compared to in the past, where some companies they tend to run their EMT and paramedic. How do I say this? They run it so bad that some employee had accident because of sleep deprived. So again, remember that your safety is number one priority. So if you get tired on the job and you need a break, talk to your dispatcher and talk to your supervisor, because you don't want to get in a car accident because you are sleep deprived. If you work 10 to 12 hour shift for EMS company, most of the time you will be outside on the field doing call, and when you do take a break, it's usually during your posting situation, and you don't usually go back to the station. I know that people who work 24 and 40-hour shift, they will go back to the station at nighttime, but during the daytime they were posting on the field in different area. At nighttime they will go back to the station to rest. Now, nowadays most companies are doing better with the making sure that 24 and 40-hour shift unit are well rested during the night. But they still do call during the nighttime too, but they do hire like part-time and night EMT to help out with the 24 and 40-hour shift, to make sure that there's no problem with the sleep deprived situation, and to just make sure in general that all EMTs and paramedics are safe, and make sure they are not sleep deprived when they do their call. So that's a good thing about the new situation with the whole EMS service right now. Now, my lunch break and rest in LA, California experience. Now, it's pretty standard to not have a specific time for your lunch break or posting situation. The good thing about working in Los Angeles, California is that it's very strict with the law. So most companies are very well known to follow the law here, especially in Los Angeles, especially with a well-known company. And let me take it back. Especially with a well-known company, if you have a good reputation and well-known in the area, they're very on top of it with your lunch break. Because in LA, if you work more than 5 hours without a lunch break, they have to pay you $1.50 more for that missed lunch. So therefore, most companies, if they are well known and big, they tend to schedule you lunch like before the 4 hours mark. I know some companies they do it like after 3 hours mark because of the late shift or late start of the day. So expect to have your lunch break from the 3 to 4 hour mark if you have like a shorter shift, like 10 or 12 hour shift. I know that for 24 is a different situation, but they still have to do it, follow the 5 hours rule mark. So they will give you a lunch before the 5 hour mark, and after that it depends on the dispatcher. So for your breaks, I recommend you to bring like snack or fruit when you go to work, because EMS could be exhausting and could be just, how can I say this? It's gonna be like, you can have a call for like the next few hours, and next thing you know, 5 or 6 hours already passed, and you haven't have anything to eat all day. So bring some snack. My best tip for you is bring like fruit or like apple, banana. Bring granola ball. Bring like fruit snack, or just bring any type of snack that's convenient to carry. It doesn't get like spoiled in the hot day. I know in the past I brought like carrot. I brought apple. I also brought like sandwiches. I also brought granola balls. So anything that's convenient, quick, on the go, I recommend that, because remember, when you work in a field, it's hard to find time to take a break. Even though your company will give you a break eventually, if you have eat for the whole day, it could be exhausting. And going back to what I said earlier, your health and your safety is your number one priority. In the EMS school, when I took my license to become an EMT, my instructor told me this: your number one priority is yourself, your partner, the public, and then your patient. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't really help anyone else. Especially if you're sleep deprived, you are exhausted, you're hungry. It's not safe for anyone if you're a driver, especially if you're a driver in that situation. You might cause an accident. You might be a danger to the public. So eat when you can, rest when you can. Just be safe out there, okay? Another big tip that I want to make is that when you go to the hospital, right? When you go to the hospital, either pick up or dropping out a patient in the ER, you could technically go to the cafeteria to get some food before your next call. Like, you could be, hey, talk to your partner while he or she clean the rig and then the stretcher. You could, hey, while you're doing that, can I just pop into the cafeteria to get some food for me really quick? It's going to take that long, like 5 minutes or so, maybe 10 if you take your time. But it's just cafeteria. There's also the vending machine in the hospital if you want to get those snacks. What else? Also use the restroom when you go to the hospital. Take care of your business so you don't hold it in throughout the whole day. Again, let's say that you don't have time and let's say your partner also want to get some food along with you. Just call your dispatcher and say, hey, like, I just finished my job of my patient. We done cleaning. Can we have like 5-10 minutes to get some food or from the cafeteria before we head on to our next call? Now, at this point, your dispatcher will be like, maybe he will let you. And if it's really in a rush, he will be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, guys, but then I have a call. This one is an ASAP. Can you go to it? I will give you a lunch break after this call. So just work it out with your dispatcher. Again, have a good open communication with your dispatcher. It's very important. As an EMT working in the emergency medical service, it can take a toll on you, especially with long hours and especially during the heavy traffic. LA is well known for that, like crazy heavy traffic. Like, I remember when I was working in the Los Angeles area, when I was working 24 and 40-hour shift, right? It was 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. But I had to leave my house at 5 a.m. to get to the work station. And when I'm finished my work, I have to go back home, right? My 30 minutes of commute turned to 2 hours just because of rush hour in the morning. So that could be annoying and frustrating. So imagine when you work in a 24-hour or 40-hour shift and you have to get a patient or you have a call during a rush hour, especially on the 405 or the 5 or the downtown area. Oh my God, the rush hour there. This time that I have stuck in traffic for more than an hour just for one call. Or there's time that you have to wait by the wall for hours because there's no bed. So it could be tiring, because I think there's time that I have psych patient at USC, and it was like late, like after midnight, and we had to wait for like 4 hours to get a bed for that psych patient. And at that point, there's nothing you can do. You just have to wait with your patient, and for 4 hours, we just stood there and wait. We had to get some water for the patient to make sure that he was fine. We explained to the patient, I'm sorry, like there's no bed. I know it's uncomfortable right now, but we're trying our best. And with all that, it does take a toll on you. So be ready. But I mean, it's getting better. I know it depends on the county and city that you live in. Some EMS companies and service are getting better. I know some places they require you to have certain amount of minimum hour sleep. If you're working on the 24 or 48 hour schedule. So they don't want you to be sleep deprived when you drive your ambulance. This is especially true for the flight medic or flight EMT or paramedic, because when you fly a helicopter, there's a certain amount of uninterrupted sleep that you have to have before you could fly the helicopter for your flight rescue. So check with your company to make sure that they do have a decent amount of break, rest period for their staff, because you don't want to be taken advantage of when you work for a company and they just run you to the ground without any break or rest or any time to eat, because that's really harmful for your health, to be honest. And remember, if you work in this field, there's time that is outside of anyone's control, so you might not eat for a certain amount of time, but don't make it a habit and just let the company drive you to the ground. If it happens once or twice, it's fine, but it happens every day, every week, you need to have a talk with your supervisor and your operation manager and then figure something out. Or just move on to another company, because that company might not be the best fit for you. Because most well-known companies, they take care of their staff very well. Well, hopefully with the new study on sleep deprivation and how sleep deprivation causes accident in the workforce for EMS, hopefully they will make a new law or have some better regulation on the sleep deprivation, resting, and lunch break for the EMT and paramedic in the future, and have a better, safe working environment for them. Well, I hope you learned something new on this video. If you like this video, give me a thumb up and click the red subscribe button down below. On this channel, I talk about my life experiences in healthcare, work education, my college education, and my self-development. So if you are interested in any of that, click the red subscribe button to be a subscriber, and I will see you again on the next video. Okay, hope you have a good day. Take care of yourself, trust yourself, and love yourself. Bye.